blends. And on these blends, since we started the project with the aging room and the swag, we have been working in a small blends. And if you want to come a little bit here, I'll show you and I'll talk a little bit closer about the new blends that we have. Okay. We're all small family here, so we're very small family. I have a lot of kids, but we're a small family. Okay, so my Solera project is one that we are introducing this year at the aging room Solera. Solera is a method that it is being used for centuries to blend different vintages of wine, rum, cognac, brandy. I learned about this method about, I think in 2003, 2004, I was in Spain for the first time. And one of the things that I, going to the southern region of Spain, the Jerez de la Frontera area, the cherry, where they make a lot of cherries, there's a big company called Pedro Domecq there. And when I went to get a tour of their place, one of the things that I was amazed is how they blend the different vintages. And I thought immediately, hey, can we use that for the cigar, for the tobacco? I borrow a lot of my ideas and inspiration, how it's from the wine industry, and how it's, because as I'm sure some of you that know me very well, I like to drink, not a lot, but I like to drink, and well, I drink a lot, but so I borrow a lot of my ideas from that. Normally, if you buy wines, they have wine from 2004, 2005, 2006. But the Solera method is a way that you get the oldest wine with the newest one and continue blending like that. And what happens is you standardize. You get, so 1 year you have all a bad, not such a good vintage, and another year you have a fantastic vintage. You always standardize that. Versus other companies that may have a great year, 2004, may not have it, and the bottles might not be necessarily the same. So we use that. Now in the tobacco, how we blend the cigars, the first time the different tobaccos touch each other is when we roll the cigar. And then we put it on the humidor, and in the humidor, maybe 30 days, 60 days, 45 days, depending on the blend. But that's the only time that the tobacco is together. So what we decided to do, just like in the wines, we decided to blend older vintages with younger vintages of tobacco, and put it in bales together and continue the aging process together. So we determined what blend we want to do. We wanted this tobacco with this tobacco, and we blended the vintage. It was a trial and error because not all tobaccos blend the same way. And basically there's no science, no one has done this before. So it took us a little bit to make sure that we got a right combination. We used to have this blend in our store in Miami Lakes. We used to have a store from 2002 to 2009, and we had a lot of different blends. So this was Solera, but now we decided to bring it back under the aging room Solera. So we decided to make it very colorful. I like colors, and so we mix tobacco from 7 years old with 2 years old and 5 years old. One of the things that I have done for a long time, as some of you know, is work with very old tobacco. So all our vintages, the big number one is tobacco only for 97, 98, and 1999. The aging room Cuatro, as you know, has a wrapper from the year 2003. The aging room Cuatro S59 has about 10-year-old tobacco. But that is expensive because the tobacco is expensive. But we wanted to broaden our horizons in the cigars and being able to lower the price. So this method not only has a unique taste, but also allows me to bring down the prices, because right now I'm working with 2 years old tobacco, with 5 and 7-year-old tobacco. So my first one is the Solera Sun Grown. This uses all vintages, like I mentioned, 2 years, 5 years, or 7-year-old. And that one that is 2 years, we got it right out of the pilon, and we put it on the bales with the other vintages. The result is when you put in the bale and you keep for 2 years, this tobacco, the younger tobacco that has a lot of money, a lot of chemicals, and it's very young, very like the young kids, you know, a lot of energy compared to the older tobacco. But when they marry each other, we found that it helped each other. And I worked for a long time in healthcare, in nursing homes and a hospital. What I found is this is exactly, we used to have young people that used to come and visit the geriatric patient and spend time with them. And I tell you, this is the same as in life. That relationship with the older and the young really brought a lot to the cigars, I believe. And that's why we decided to go with Solera. Now, the sun-grown, we also introducing this in the shade. We also introducing in the Maduro. We also introducing in the Corojo. Now, because we also have the FDA regulations now, as you guys may know, that until after August 8, we will not be able to introduce new ones. My original project was to introduce only this particular one, the sun-grown, and later on expand. So right now we have to bring all of them to the market in order to meet the criteria to be on the market by August 8. It comes in 3 sizes, 52, 55, and a 57. Now, they are packed without cellophane. And some stores tell us, well, you know, the cigar without cellophane in some areas, high altitude and very dry. But I can tell you, we're going to open one box for you, so you know why. When you open that, you know why I put it without. Because when you open that, the smell that comes from out of that box is amazing. It's amazing. And you're gonna, if someone is gonna pass this around, I want you to smell what it comes out of that box. So you're here, you're gonna start with that. It's amazing. I had not planned to do this, but I want you guys to smell that. Pass it this, and then we'll pass it in the back. It's an amazing smell, and for some of you that know how I like to blend, aroma for me is very, very important. When I get the cigar, I want to smell that, and that will tell you, just like the wine, when you open a bottle of wine and you get a glass of wine and you smell that, that's what I wanted. Now, if I do that with cellophane, it's not going to be the same thing. So, this process in the boxes continue the marrying of the flavors, okay? So that's why I'm doing it without cellophane. Now, 2 of the sizes have a big tail. We did it basically just like Cuban has been doing the big tail, which is, I love it. And we did in the packaging a little bit different. We opened because there's a lot of breakage that may happen. We put in this box, we put a little thing here that holds the cigar in place. So the big tail comes in the 52 and 55, and the 57 is something that we call semi-belly, which is the belly closer. Can you help me out with that? It requires two hands to do this. So we didn't want to do it completely a very sharp torpedo, so we call it semi-belly, which is a belly coso. And I'm sure you know, I know a lot about bellies. So that's my Solera. By the way, at the end, you guys can have any questions that you may have, hold it until the end. So this is a cigar that right now we're gonna retail from $675 to $780. So we have been able to bring down the prices. Because the truth of the matter is, I want to make cigars that people like. I want to make cigars, that I like, but the consumer can buy it. And not everybody can buy it $12, $13, $14 cigars, especially in these economic situations. So this is a great way, and I had no idea why all the manufacturers never thought of mixing the tobacco. So this is something that has been done for years and years in the industry of the wine, but it was never done. It was never done on the tobacco, which is great that I was able to try that. So my Solera. My other engine room releases. As you know, I love to work together with other people, but I also like to get rare tobaccos and rare projects. So Pelo de Oro. Who's here knows a little bit about Pelo de Oro? Some of you know. Okay. Pelo de Oro is a tobacco from Cuba. What I like to say is the golden era of Cuban cigars. but the tobacco is very susceptible to illnesses and blue mold. So because of that, it's almost not grown these days. It's grown very little. Well, we partnered up with AJ Fernandez. AJ has a tremendous production facility in Estelí, Nicaragua, but also has grown the pelo de oro in very small amounts throughout the years. And again, can only be grown in small amounts because again, it's very susceptible to illnesses. And you don't want the illness to get and get into the other tobacco. So this is all grown in very small. Because of that, it's a small production. So this cigar has 90%, I would say, of tobacco is a pelo de oro. So the whole filler, everything is pelo de oro, and the binder, except the wrapper, which is a very old Nicaraguan wrapper. We're extremely happy with this cigar, and we have been working on this since the end of last year on the blend. It is a fantastic, fantastic cigar. Now, this is also, will retail for a little bit more. It's, I believe it's $13.90 a cigar because it's very old and very production. But not only I like to always improve my blends, but I also like the packaging and how the cigar, I think the whole package comes together. So we were able to use a new system to print the boxes. It's a printer that was used for 3D printing with plastics and things like that to adjust it, to paint in different colors, and the box is printed using that. Normally we use a different method. You can touch here. Normally we use a different method just to put paint on it, but this one is printed box by box. So not only the cigar is amazing and a very rare tobacco, but also the box and the presentation. So we wanted for the whole presentation to call it classic, only available in boxes of 10 cigars. By the way, I want to call your attention that I continue using my normal way of naming my vitolas with a musical term. This one is a scherzo, which is a type of music, and this one was a fantastico, a festivo, and a fanfare, which is something that is a music that I like very much. There's a piece called fanfare for the common man, it's called, and I thought it was appropriate because this is a lower price cigar, so fanfare for the common man. Okay, so that's my 80 root releases. But now, if you remember, I started on this business, Hank and I and my wife, we started in the business with the Oliveros brand of cigars. And if you notice, year after year, you continue to see the Oliveros name there, and my email is Oliveros. I wanted to bring back Oliveros. I knew that this regulation thing was going to pass, and we started preparing a long time for this. So we started with our introduction, the Oliveros Gran Retorno. Gran Retorno in English means grand return. And it is really, really my way of going back to basics. So great price point. It comes in 3 different wrappers: the Maduro, the Habano, and the Shade. Both the Maduro and the Habano are full Nicaraguan tobacco. They are made in a very small factory in Estelí called El Galán. El Galán is a very small brand that is out there, but Felix Mesa, which is the owner, has been really working hard to make great cigars. So great price point, $6 to $7 a cigar, and the Shade is a Connecticut grown in Honduras. Now, not many of you have heard Connecticut grown in Honduras, but Nestor Plasencia has been growing Connecticut for a while in Honduras that have been used for some of General Cigars top brands. And that's what we use it. And the blend, it uses a Nicaraguan Honduran tobacco. So it's not a puro like the other ones, because it's hard to make it a puro with Shade. Okay, you have to blend it in order to enhance the flavor of the wrap. So available in 4 different sizes and in 3 different shapes. And on these particular ones, I went with using this one is fiddle. We have a banjo, so we continue with our musical term of musical terms, and also some musical ragtime is another one, which is a very old musical from the 40s and 50s type of music. And now we also introduce a special project that is very dear to me. because I like to do collaborations. You guys may remember my Romeo aging room, which is something that's never been done like that before. And here we continue. So we're doing the Oliveros All Star, which is a partnership with Ernesto Perez Carrillo. Ernesto, as you guys know, is the godfather of boutique cigars with La Gloria Cubana. Then obviously that was bought by General Cigar, and now we see Picarillo. Well, it's interesting to know that Ernesto got with one of his cigars the number 2 in 2014, and we got the number 2, which we like to say number 1, but it's actually number 2 of the year. Some say that it's the number 1 of the free world, but that's, I'm not going to go into politics. It's funny because I was at his store, Just a Cigar, when Obama was visiting, right?
Yes.
Cuba, and the Rolling Stones were playing, right?
Yes.
In Havana, and that day I was doing an event on Just a Cigar in California, Sacramento, and we got, it was funny because first of all the Sacramento Bee run a story about our cigars and me and visiting his store and the whole Cuban thing. And when we got to the event, we had Channel 10 News, ABC outside covering the event, which is like, you know, are you sure? You know, they're here for me? Maybe they're gonna arrest me, I don't know. And so it was on the news. So they said if the Obama is in Cuba, we have our own Cuban here, cigar maker in Sacramento. So that was fun. So the Oliveros All Star is, like I mentioned, with Ernesto Perez Carrillo. Since he had the number 2, I got the number 2 the year before. So now, hopefully we can get a number 1, okay? Or maybe a number 4, 2 + 2 is 4, but I'm betting for the number 1 or at least the number 2. This is, it's a wrapper that I have used, a tobacco that I have used in my Oliveros XL for Men. If you remember that cigar, some of you, and I know you will, you remember that, it was a Brazilian wrapper with a Maduro broadleaf binder. Never had, no one has used it on that. So we use that same wrapper, and it's important to know that we used it before because that we qualify for the FDA substantial equivalent, all these legal things, okay? So that's a disclaimer, okay? So this is tobacco very well aged. It includes a blend with that wrapper of, which I tell you, I love this type of wrapper that brings a lot of flavors. But because this wrapper, when it brings a lot of flavor, the fillers has to be adjusted and the blend has to be adjusted to make sure you don't steal a lot of that or you don't overpower the blend. So you'll be the judge, but I believe we've done a great job of making sure I enhance the flavor rather than taking of the broadleaf Maduro. It comes available in 4 sizes, and again, following the music terms, basso, which one is this? Area, which Aria is a part of the opera that is seen as you know, by La Boheme and some of my other releases, and continue that. So these are all my old releases, and of course we continue with our La Boheme, which you know, I'm happy to say this is the only cigar in history that has been on the top 20 of every single magazine at the same time. So it was number 7 of Cigar Spirit. Actually, the Cigar Spirit gave a number 1 to my Romeo aging room without this, but we got a number 7 La Boheme. We got Cigar Snob, we got a number 9, Cigar Journal, we got the number 11, and Cigar Aficionado, a number 12, with a rating of 94 points. So we continue to be innovative in the blending process. We try to do the packaging, which is a different thing, so the box, put it in there. In this box, normally when you have something like this, you see the name here, but in this package, we want to be the start, to be the cigar, not necessarily the package. So we reduce, but it's so bright anyway that we didn't feel we needed more, you know, it calls your attention. So anyway, so if you guys have any questions about any of the blends, feel free to ask now, or you can ask me a little bit later, but those are our new releases this year.